Yeah, that's right. I'm still sitting here. I've been here an hour and a half charging my car, and it's again charging level 2, so it's going to be a little bit longer before I can get on the road. But you know, at least I have some things to do. It's air conditioned. That's really nice. I'm cooling off. So is the car. It's parked in the shade back there. Got my computer. Been able to do a little work. Leftover sweet potato French fries from Duckworth and Big Newton's. And look at this, good reading material. 150-mile range. I wouldn't have had this problem if I had a new Leaf. But, you know, I've enjoyed this trip, even though it has had a lot of pitfalls. But, you know, that's what adventure is all about. And I do enjoy it. I'm frustrated by it right now, but I know that I'm gonna look back and be like, wow, you know, that was a really fun trip. Despite the overheating of the car and the storms and the traffic, you know, but everything else has been awesome. The chance to eat the Impossible Burger twice in 2 days, incredible, at 2 amazing restaurants. And then to be able to see some countryside that and towns that I've never experienced and meet some really neat people. That's been really fun. You know, get outside, go, do things, experience the world. And if you know, a few things happen to you along the way, you encounter some pitfalls, some roadblocks, that's, you know, that's just life. So accept it and go on. And, you know, it will make you a better person. So with that being said, let's go check the car and see how much of a charge we have. Well, here we go, and hopefully we will make it. Thanks. There's the new Leaf. That's a beautiful machine. If I had one of those, I would not have gotten into all of these fiascos, that's for sure. All of this is related to the range issue that this little car has. Oh well, I guess I forgot to mention we have about 63 miles of range, and we're going 48 miles. But we're going a little, you know, we're going faster and up and down hills, so we'll see if we can actually go 48 miles and how much we have left over when we get there. I know I'll get there. I just wanted to make sure, so I charged a little bit longer than I normally would have. There's Friendship Nissan. I have arrived. Just barely. Let's find that charging station. It's here somewhere. I think I see it already. There it is. Nice. All right, perfect. It looks off, but I read on PlugShare where you just throw a switch and it turns it on. All right, let's see what I have left here. Not much, I'll tell you that. 20.5% state of charge and 2.8. Wow. 2.8 kilowatt hours remaining. It was getting very close to giving me the very low battery warning. But I could have gone about 8.5 more miles before the car shut off. Don't really want to do that. So let's plug it in and charge it for 2 hours and then go home. Okay, we're charging. Yay, happy. Now, I'm gonna go get some food. That's right, I happen to notice that there's a Waffle House right across the street. It couldn't be better. I'm starving. So I'm gonna go to Waffle House and have some eggs and hash browns and give myself a little bit of fuel while my car gets a little bit of fuel. Alright, it's 12:30 a.m. on Sunday. My car has been charging for about 2 hours. During that time, I went to Waffle House. I got some food. And I took a little nap, actually, right here in the seat. About a 30-minute nap. The car has now about an 80% state of charge and 12.6 kilowatt hours remaining in the battery. We should be able to make it to my destination, my mother's house in Hendersonville. Yeah, we should be able to make it. This is going to be the trickiest leg of the entire journey because of the mountain. Yeah, a mountain. There's a mountain in the way. It's an incredible elevation gain. I don't remember what the elevation gain is, but it has to be at least 2,000 or 3,000 feet. And it's straight up. Yeah. So we're going to take it slow. And hopefully we'll get there. This is the last time I'll charge on this entire trip. With the exception of trickle charging when I get to my mother's house, I'll just plug it in the wall. Yeah. I'm kind of incoherent right now, mentally. I can drive, but talk, that's a different story. So here we go. Let's do this. Let's finish this. Let's get home and go to bed. Sleepy. Okay, so we have a range of 55 miles in eco mode, and good news, the temperature on the battery has gone down even more. Part of that, I guess, is because the air temperature is much nicer than it was midday. And we're underway. Here we go. I'm merging on to 26 now, and in a moment is where I'll start the climb up the escarpment, several thousand feet. My car is telling me I have 26 miles of range. Waze is telling me I have 20 miles to go before my destination. But what's it going to say when we get to the top? I'm going to stick it at 50 miles an hour. I've been on 50 miles an hour on cruise control since we left. I haven't wavered. So here we go. There's one little hill before the big hill, one downhill where we get to regenerate just a little bit, but then it's all uphill for miles and miles. Here we go. Flashers because there's vehicles coming from behind, and they're gonna go a lot faster than 50 miles an hour to try to make it up this grade. Take the truck lane, hoping that there's no trucks. Here we go, up we go. 15 miles to my destination. Well, I'm sorry, 19 miles to my destination. 23 miles is what the car is telling me. Come on, little car, you can do this. And there's the bridge. Okay, made it, at least to this point. Okay, and the car's telling me well, Waze is telling me I have 16 miles remaining. The car is telling me I have 11 miles of range remaining. However, that is not accurate because I'm not going to continue going up a grade that steep. The car's gasometer, or gisometer, is basically thinking we're going to continue up a steep grade and at the same speed. So it's going to make a guess on the distance that I can travel if I continue at this speed and incline level, but I'm not. So I know I can go farther, and in a minute we will start going downhill and we'll regenerate a little bit, and hopefully it will reflect in the gasometer. I can breathe now over the hump. Okay, so I have about a mile of 7% grade going down to the Green River Gorge, and I'll get quite a bit of regeneration from that, hopefully enough to get me up the hump on the other side, the last hill before I make it to home. Lots of regeneration going into my battery, and my windows are fogging up. Not good. Don't want to turn on the defroster unless I absolutely have to, so I'm cracking the windows. Hopefully that will do it. Crossing over the Green River Gorge. My exit, Duckworth Road.
Low battery charge.
Now she tells me. Well, over to my right, there is a level 2 charging station. I'm not going to need it. I have 7 miles of range and I only have about 7 miles to go, and I know I can do it because the car will go farther than 7 miles. Even if it runs totally out to zero, I'll still make it. So I think I've done this. I think the impossible EV adventure has been possible because, well, mainly because I know how to drive this car. I've learned its ins and outs, and also I don't hurry, as you can see. I take my time when I need to take my time, and don't cut corners, and use science to my advantage. You know, I let physics be my guide, such as when I come to a hill, if I'm going down a hill, I let the car's momentum regenerate power back into the battery. Massive momentum, I should say. And forward velocity and all of those good things. And you know, just because the speed limit says 70, I don't go 70, because I know that if I went 70 back there on that stretch, I would have run out of juice long ago. All right, now to get to my mother's house, where I'm going to plug in for the night, what's left of the night. It's 1:27 a.m. took this exit instead of the one Waze was directing me to is because there are several level 2 charging stations along this end of town, and if I did have an issue, I would have been able to stop either any of those stations. In fact, I'll be passing one at Nissan here in a minute. But I don't think I'm going to take advantage of that. I made it. This is my hometown, Hendersonville. Yep. I made it. Somehow. Now I just need to make it another 1.5 miles to my mother's house, where I'm going to plug in for the night and close this trip once and for all. And never ever do this trip again in this Leaf. I might do it in another vehicle, but not this one. No way. This car is a short-range electric vehicle now. For anything under 50 miles, it's great. But let's see, we've totaled on this trip so far 453.5 miles. Once I get back to my house tomorrow, it'll be 475 miles or so. Wow. And I haven't even totaled up all the statistics. It's going to be crazy. The numbers are going to be crazy. I was crazy for doing this. Yeah. Guys, don't try this at home. Don't try this away from home either. Now, I do highly recommend eating the Impossible Burger whenever you get a chance. But combining Impossible Burgers and old electric vehicles, probably not a good idea. Wow, downtown Hendersonville at 1:30 in the morning. Yeah, I haven't done this in a very long time, probably since when I was in high school in the 1980s. And yeah, let's see, today I woke up at 4 a.m. and it is now 1:30 a.m. And probably in that entire length of time I slept an hour at the most in the parking lot of the previous Nissan dealership. Crazy. Well, I am going to sleep until noon tomorrow, most likely. Whoa. Yikes, big tree down. Whew. My mother told me her power went out this morning, and that was probably why, because her house is right up here. Yep, that explains it. Alright, I am at my mother's house over here, and I'm going to park my Leaf, run an extension cord through a window, plug it in, and go to sleep for what little bit there is left of tonight. So the Impossible EV adventure is officially over. We'll talk more about that later. It's too late right now. So good night, everyone. Gonna have to park right here. Yeah, that'll work. So I have 19.8% state of charge and 2.2 kilowatt hours remaining and 4 miles of range reported by the car. Wow, I barely made it, squeezed by on that one. All right, let's plug this car in and get some sleep. So tired. 1:39 in the morning. All right. What a mess. All right, it looks like we have 81.6% state of charge, 12.9% kilowatt hours in the battery, so we're good to go. Good to go home anyway. About 20 miles from here. I don't even know what the date is. It's been one of those weekends. What is the date? Sunday, May 20th. Okay. Oh. Temperature 77 degrees already. Wow. Yeah, it's because it's 11:30. I slept very late because I went to bed very early. And the battery temperature is practically normal after cooling all night and charging level 1. So we're good to go. All right, here we go. Time to go home. I don't think they heard me coming. Hello. That's great. He's pretty awesome. Her dog's name is Earl. That's awesome. All right. I want to point out something really amazing here. I'm going to turn right. And then if you look to the right, on the roof of this church, you will see a large clustering of solar modules. I'm going to turn it back so you can see it. Look at that. Yeah, really nice to see solar going in everywhere. North Carolina is number 2 in the nation in solar, in grid scale, utility scale, I'm sorry, solar installations. And we are increasing every day. So yeah, go solar, go EV, and eat the Impossible Burger, and you will be glad you did all of the above. All right, so here we go, heading home. Okay, so you might be wondering if I have any, any ideas, thoughts, considerations on this voyage that almost didn't happen. Yeah, well, I do. I would say the biggest one is that you probably should not take a short-range electric vehicle on such a long trip. or if you don't mind waiting around for a long time while your vehicle charges, then yeah, go for it. But if you have better things to do, then use your short-range electric vehicle for short-range jaunts, you know. And if you plan to take a much longer voyage, such as this one, then you need a longer range EV, or, you know, rent a car. I don't know. Basically, these, you know, electric vehicles from the era where mine was made, you know, around 2010 to 2017, you know, with the exception of a couple, they don't have a very long range, you know, 100 miles or less. And so they're perfect for running around town, running errands, going to work, commuting back and forth on your daily chores. But if you need to go a longer distance, well, you know, even though there is a charging network out there, you know, some of these vehicles, such as the early Nissan Leaf, they are limited by how many times you can fast charge. That, you know, the heat builds up, as you saw, and can limit your range, of effectively shutting you down in order to protect the battery, which I somehow was able to keep from happening. I was really worried there for a while that the car was going to not let me charge, and then I would have to spend another night out on the road in a hotel somewhere. But luckily that didn't happen, and I was able to get home. So yeah, that's the big one. You know, if you're going to go on a long road trip, don't do it in a Nissan Leaf prior to 2017 model. You know, the 17 model has a 107-mile range, and yeah, that's a little longer, and you could go on a short road trip. For long distance driving, however, I still recommend Teslas. You know, just wonderful vehicles, much longer range. They have the Tesla supercharging network. They have, you know, a battery that is cooled, has a cooling system built in, so you will not have overheating issues such as you saw in the Nissan Leaf. Yeah, and the 2018 Nissan Leaf, it's a wonderful vehicle. You know, with 151 miles of range. But still, it does not have a battery cooling system, which I think is a huge step that Nissan needs to look into. And I've heard through the grapevine that the 2019 model may in fact have a battery cooling system as well as over 200 miles of range. So that's a huge improvement. Let's see, anything else about this trip? Well, the Impossible Burger is now possible. It is an amazing scientific achievement in the world of food. So go out and have yourself an Impossible Burger. You will be very glad you did. And, you know, go get yourself an electric vehicle and power it with solar power or another renewable energy form. Another bit of insight I have from this voyage is I am 100% convinced that electric vehicles are the way to go. Even with the limited range of my Nissan Leaf, I still love this car. And I'm 100% convinced that electric vehicles, you know, are going to rule the roads within the next 10 years. You know, it's just a better way to drive. And, you know, really the only way you are going to learn for yourself how incredible this driving experience is just go test drive one. Just test drive it, and then you might change your mind and you might buy it. You know, that's the way you really progress forward, is by getting your feet wet a little bit and learning. So step into a Nissan Leaf or a Tesla Model S, a Model X, Model 3. You know, there's a lot of awesome choices out there, and you know, just go out and try them out. Just get your feet wet a little bit and see what you think. You'll be glad you did. So anyway, that is it for the Impossible EV adventure. And if you've watched this far in the long version, well, you know, thank you. I tend to be quite long-winded in my videos, and I like to be able to get all of this information out to you, and I hope you've enjoyed this series. Yeah, so here we are. We're home. Yep, we're home. We made it. We're on the terrible driveway, ski slope driveway that I live on. And looks like there's some storm damage I'll have to clean up. A dead tree had fallen. There's been some crazy storms, as you've seen. And yesterday, coming back late at night, the road I wanted to take was closed because of mudslides and washouts. Well, here we are, back home on my little mountain. All right, I'm gonna back into my garage so it'll be easier to unload. And that is the end.